What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Meh of Pig and Meh here. And, well, pretty recently, for some reason or another, I've been watching a lot of Zexal. And in the process of watching Zexal, I remembered I have a lot of the Utopia cards, as well as, you know, I pulled a Ultimate Rare Utopia recently and figured, you know what, I'm going to give this deck a shot. And after some testing and playing it at locals, I decided that I want to show you guys my build. So, without further ado, here's my Utopia deck. Alright, start out with your Onomatopoeia cards, which I'm not sure why in the hell all these cards are Onomatopoeia tongue twister names, but I'll inevitably get to that point in the show. We're going to start out with 3 of your Utopic Onomatopoeia, 3 copies of your Zubababancho Gaga coat, and your 2 copies of Dododo Dwarf Go Glove. So Utopia here, he's basically all the onomatopoeias, which are relevant because these guys have effects that require that you have one of the onomatopoeias and then let you do another thing. With Utopia here, letting you summon, you know, these 2 from your hand so you can rank 4 spam. Zubababancho, he's both a special summon and he's a Coach Soldier Wolfbark. And Dododo here can special summon itself from your graveyard if you control the onomatopoeia. It's really good, and there's a lot of cards to help facilitate this particular engine aside from plot armor. Alright. Now, aside from those tongue twisters, you got your ZS cards with your 3 copies of Ascended Sage and your 3 copies of Armed Sage. This card is absolutely fantastic because if you control no cards, you just get a free body on the board. And Armed Sage is when you control level 4, you can special summon him. Except for a copy of himself, but that's just kind of whatever. And when you make Utopia using them, they grant the effect where this search is a ZW, and this search is your rank up spell card. So it's incredibly good. And you definitely want to open these guys because they let you combo off without using your normal summon. Now for your ZWs, I just ran the Bringer, Sylphid Wing, and Pegasus Twin Saber. This card is a negate that doesn't start a chain, so that's weird. I don't know why Konami printed it that way, but it's really useful because it could just randomly stop a lot of face-up cards. Well, monster effects. This deck stops monster effects really, really easy. It's insane. Sylphid Wing, I'm just playing this because it's a level 4. Its effect almost never comes up, and its attack boost is okay. And I'm maining the Tornado Bringer because Chalice Imperm are real popular, so I figured a protection from targeting would be kind of important. And that's all your ZWs. The only one of these guys that's truly a brick is the Twin Saber, because he does not have the effect to equip from the hand, which is really, really annoying. Alright. And for your little, you know, spectral buddy, of course you play 3 copies of Astraltopia. This card is nutty, because he has the ability off of either discarding a card from your hand or sending a card from your field to the graveyard to add any of these spells and traps I'm about to show you. And on top of that, he's another special summon. You just have to control an Exceeds monster. He is really, really good, and I much prefer him over Astral Kuribo, just because there's less things that really affect him in comparison to that card. And he gives you a little bit more freedom in what you can make off of him. And that's basically the main monster lineup. Now onto your support spells for these particular monsters. For your Onomatopoeia support cards, you got 3 Onomatopoeia, 1 Onomatopoeia, and 1 Onomata Pickup. This card isn't really necessary, but it's really fun because every time you summon a Utopia, it gets a high 5 the sky counter, which boosts up the attack of your Utopia monsters 200 per high 5 the sky counter. And then you can remove 2 high 5 the sky counters from it to special summon one of your Onomatopoeia guys, which is really cool and helping you do some neat extension plays. Pickup can search any of these 4 cards. So, since I'm not playing too many things that you need to read or get from this, I just figured 1 was fine. And Onomatopoeia, for a discard, you get a Zubaba, a Gaga, a Gogogo, or a Dododo, a combination of those 2 monster types. So basically for 1 card you get 2 monsters, which really in this case it just evens out in card advantage. We don't need to talk about that. That's for your Onomatopoeia spells. For your Zexal spells, you play 2 Construct and 1 Entrust. This is just here to get your Ascended Sages, if we're going to be honest with you. And this is only in here in case you already have your Ascended Sages and you just want an extra extender. This is a Monster Reborn. And this is also why you can play, or why I play the level 4 guy. Because you can reborn him if you discarded him for your Onomatopoeia card. So that's pretty much what it's good for. It's also an easy side out, games 2 and 3. Alright, now to kind of your one-ofs and your bricks. 1 Exceeds Change Tactics. 1 Hyper Rank Up Magic Utopic Force. 1 Double or Nothing. And 1 Numbers Protection. This is Infernity Barrier, and your only real means to stop spells and traps. Because making monster negates with this deck is super easy. I got some gameplay footage I can show you guys if this video does well enough, where you can easily see that. This deck can stop monster effects all day, every day. But spells and traps, not so much. So I just play the 1 because it's searchable, and it's kind of situational. Double or Nothing is usually a discard, but you can just easily win a game off of that. This is the only rank up I choose to play because just the way I decided to build my extra deck, it's the only one I need. And you only really will pull it off the 1 time. A lot of the other Utopia cards are really cool, but a little too situational. But maybe I'll experiment with them in the future. And Exceeds Change Tactics is an absolutely insane card, because every time you summon a Utopia, you pay 500 life points, and you get to draw a card. So it basically refills your hand for all the special summoning out of it you're doing. The thing is, though, after you've used it once, it's pretty much useless. So I just decided to opt to run 1. And usually I just search it off of the Utopia guy. Unless I'm lucky, then I'll just search the Numbers Protection. So that's pretty much to round out all the Yuma-specific cards that you play. Now to fill out the rest of the deck and give you some protection against things, I'm playing 2 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 Nibiru, 1 Effect Veiler, 1 Forbidden Chalice, and 1 Infinite Impermanence. You obviously know what's coming up, but if you're curious, these are the 4 cards that hit you the hardest in this deck, and they're also some of the 4 most commonly played, basically stop your opponent from playing cards. And Ash Blossom can hit you too, but it's also probably the best hand trap to draw out of all of these. So that's why I wanted to play 2 of them. And then, of course, the reason you're playing these ratios is because you need to play these cards. I feel this is more mandatory in this deck because Nibiru just cold stops you dead in your tracks. And you want a main decked out for it. It's really that simple. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that you would have to play something like this and then these weird hand trap ratios, but it really is that important to pull off your board. And called by, same ballpark. Alright, and the last 3 cards, and just the last kind of generic, you know, good stuff dot cards, is the Reborn, the Rhoda, and the Phantom Knights Shade Brigandine. This is just a level 4 body. That's a free summon. You don't play a lot of traps either, so it's easy to get this card off. and just one is fine. Reinforcement of the army, almost all of your combo pieces are warrior, so it's insane. And Monster Reborn is just, yeah, free body. Literally, no cost. So that's the main deck. It's 45 cards, so you don't draw your bricks too often. Alright, now to the extra deck. Of course, you need to feel the flow with your buddy Yuma, so very important that you have this. The other important card, obviously, your 2 copies of number 39 Utopia. Obviously, you know the double or nothing trick by stopping his own attack, but every card requires you making this, so I play 2. You can easily get away with running 3, but I just opted for 2 to have a little bit more room for some other cards. The other absolute mandatory and important is the Utopia double. He can actually cheat out number 99 just straight into that, but I don't recommend doing that. But yeah, this is absolutely important. I play 1 Utopia Ray just literally as an extra material. And ZS Utopic Sage. He gets the ZS or your level 4 ZW guy from your deck. And you usually use him as the extra body to go into your Utopic guys. Or you can send him off the Astrotopia. 1 Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. This card is nuts. This is the first thing you'll usually go into off of 99 because he's just more monster negates. This is your out Avermax, and just an insanely good card when you need it. And then this is the bread and butter of, you know, the new Utopia deck, number 99 Utopia Dragonair. As a quick effect, you can detach 2 materials, summon any number monster between 1 and 100. That's absolutely stupid, and just let you go off and build some super nutty boards. So yeah, this card's incredibly important, but you don't really need more than the 1. And as aforementioned, I play the Utopic Draco package. It's pretty good. More negates. That's all I can say. Alright, now to kind of your generic stuff. First off is Gaga Magician, because Yuma plays Gaga Magician in the show. So I wanted to play it in some way, shape, or form. And its effect is literally just to facilitate the guy to bring out this guy. So he's easily cuttable for a lot of other rank 4s that you would want to play instead. What's absolutely mandatory is the 1 Tornado Dragon. He's basically one of the few... I like to end my boards on him more so than any other card because he's a quick play or quick effect that can stop Mystic Mine, and back row is the bane of your existence. So he's absolutely necessary. Abyss Dweller is if you know your matchups, you can do this to extra stop all monster effects. This is usually what you summon turn 2. It's a main decked means to stop most spell cards. So it's incredibly important. Because again, you could get monster negates all day. But spell and trap, destruction, and negates, you kind of need to have stuff to do that. Like I said, you really need stuff to do that. And of course, he's absolutely mandatory in any Exceeds base deck, because he's probably one of the best ones they've printed in a long time. So yeah, that's your extra deck. It's super tight, and there's not a lot of room to really do other stuff. I guess in theory you could cut this and this package if you absolutely wanted to, but I like playing the cards personally. I guess a quick side deck. You can side this in case there's DPE. This for games 2 and 3 because it's kind of a game ender. Some kaijus because you really need to break boards. This is a level 4, but you might want to bump this up to 3 since it's not searchable. This is just to stop plays altogether. Again, like I told you, you absolutely need to be able to break boards. Games 2 and 3. Because this deck does not have a very good going second, even with the double or nothing play. So, a lot of the rest of your side deck is just straight back row hate, or board breaks, pretty much. Alright. So there you have it, people. My Utopia deck. It's really, really fun. And I'm probably going to keep experimenting with it and doing some neat stuff. So, if you guys know any neat plays I can do with this, just let me know in the comment section down below. And I'm going to go high five the sky and keep labbing with this. This is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing out.